Lana, what's the name of the powder you use? Oh, girl, I'm still a Black Up fan. Um, this is the brand that I had I had represented this brand for about 4 or 5 years, and I tell you, it is the most amazing product. Is this the one that you're talking about, or the contouring powder? So this one is, well, of course, it's almost done. You can see the middle. This is the two-way cake powder. And what is amazing about this is that you could use it as a powder and then just damp your brush, and you could use it as a foundation too. So it gives you more coverage. As soon as a self-selling product, but that's okay. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So let's do the eyelashes real quick. And in the meantime, I want to ask one quick question. This is one of my favorite eyelash brands. I envy, because the lashes, even though it looks like this, I guarantee you when I put it on, it's not going to look as dramatic as this. It's going to give me the perfect pop that I want, and it is so natural. Yes, girl, but it's a shame that we can't get Black Up in Trinidad anymore. So what I did is the other day I did some work for them in Barbados, and I make sure that I pull what I could get, because Barbados has two of the most amazing shops that I've seen. I felt as though I was probably working in a store in the US. Hi, Karen. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. I wish you the same. Yeah, it is really, really amazing. And in all the years that I have been working as a makeup artist, it's one of the few brands that I see that the colors work awesome with our skin tones and everything else. So let me see if I could kind of interject here, because part of this conversation, remember, this whole thing is real beauty talk, and I believe beauty doesn't is not just about the face. It's what you feel in your heart, what you're experiencing um, in your inner life. So we want to make sure that we have a conversation as we get ready to close 2020. Let's talk about, what are your takeaways that you would take into 2021 with you? So while the first thing I will do, because this is the first time I'm using this particular lash, I'm going to measure it to see if if I have to clip anything. Ooh, I like. It is super dramatic. Ooh, I like. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't need to clip it. Comes all the way down. Right, so this is a lash. So, um, yeah, I know this year caught all of us by storm. Hi, Karen. Karen Lashley, how you doing, girl? I have a lot of Karens on. Karen, my sister, Karen Busby, Karen Allison Whitehead. Oh wow, today's a Karen day. Was it marked for Karen, y'all? Oh boy. Yes, so I am applying some glue. Do I have anything in this? Let's just immediately, don't even waste time with that. So my way of, oopsie. Right. So let's leave our footprint and talk about what are our takeaways into 2021 from 2020. 2020 has been quite a year. Oh my gosh. But I made some notes and I will share as I go along. And if anything resonates with you, feel free to share some hearts. Don't forget to share the live. I made a note of five takeaways that I will carry into 2021. It will give me more confidence. The number one is your environment. People and connections will always sustain us, and there is more than enough, because a lot of us had setbacks in terms of work related setbacks. We weren't having we weren't earning anything, so we really had to depend on well, I don't think I depended on anybody. It's like the universe just surprised me, and people who I didn't even remember me and send me a little small change. So I did not had a day when I had no food, and that is a blessing. So it made me realize that God will always take care of us. We have to trust the process. And hold on, I can't talk and do this. So let's just put on this fabulous lash. I like how jet black this is too. So you see how simple it is. I'm gonna do it over on the other side again. The most important thing is to get it as close to your lash line as possible. The worst thing that you can have when you're applying eyelashes is to see the space in between your lashes, your lash line, and where the fake lashes. So I set down the outer corner. All right. It is that easy. So you see how amazing, how absolutely amazing eyelashes are, because I can literally go out casually with this face during the course of the day, like this side of my face during the course of the day. And if I'm gonna go from like let's say a work situation into something like a little bit more dramatic or maybe a little more glamorous, I don't have to do over my entire face. All I need to do is just pop on a pair of strips. And look at that. I love this curl, and it doesn't make my eye look heavy. That's what I love about it. Yes, to be gentle with yourself, especially when you're trying to plan, because I know for a fact that as a matter of fact, I have to confess this to everybody. You see 2019, I swear, 2019 prepared me mentally for 2020, because I had a very rough year, 2019, sorry, and 2019 prepared me for the year that I was going to have. And I honestly believe, because of my experience, the lack and the limitations that I've experienced in 2019, sorry, it definitely prepared me for 2020, because by the time it come around, I was already comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I was working. I had a job that I was sure money was coming in, and then that went through. So in getting back to freelancing in 2019, it was the most difficult struggle. So I already started, when 2020 started, I felt as though I was seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I was seeing, because I had all these plans, right? And of course, we didn't have a choice but to go with the flow. So the second thing that I would take into 2021 with me is the fact that there are still compassionate humans in the world. My third is to mind your relationships, because they are your future. A lot of times we don't understand how important relationships are, because we tend to treat people anyhow when we are on top of the world, and then the universe have a way of humbling us by pulling us back down to earth, so in some cases. And in this particular case, for 2020, a lot of us came back down to earth, down to reality, in like a jiffy. We didn't even had any, we couldn't say or do anything. It was just the way it is. And if it wasn't for my relationships that I've built, or the way how I treated people and I was mindful of people, I don't think I would have had the favor that I've had, that I've experienced in 2020. So, okay, I'm going to try to put this in such a way that you could see. So what I would do now is the way how I hold the lash between the tweezer, right? And then, hey Lauren, thank you for joining me. I will kind of like hover over, right? to kind of like just get a good idea of where the center is. And when I establish that I'm over the center, I I will just press it down. Because I'm doing this side of my face, I'm going to set the inner corner first, making sure that I press it as close into the lash line as possible, because we don't want to see a space. And then I'm going to hold the other end and I will press it in. I'm going to get in there from on top. So putting on the lashes with the eyes open, trust me, this changed my life. Even as, you know, a lot of people think, oh, because you're a makeup artist, you're real good at this. But it's only a couple years ago I really get this, you know. I was looking at a guy applying makeup and I saw that he was applying it with the eyes open. And almost every other makeup artist that are pro, this is the way how they do it. When you apply it with the eyes open, then you give yourself, it really helps to kind of like frame the eyes properly. I think this is the most dramatic lash that I've ever worn. Can you believe that? I want to make sure that it's close to my lash line before it sets. Right. So that's it for the eyes. So that way, when I'm looking at my eyes, for example, my eyes are very dramatic. My brows is not competing with my eyes. The rest of my face is not competing with with makeup as well. And the one thing that I'm going to pull together while we finish up is my lips. And I could go in so many different directions with my lips. But for the sake of this shooty mask that we have to put on, boy, this thing has pissed me off. But anyways, I forever in a face shield. So I can get away, once it's not windy, I can get away with just applying. I think I'm going to do this gloss. This gloss, I had a love affair with it. It's called Ooh Baby, and it's a MAC lip gloss. This is probably about my 5th or 6th tube of Ooh Baby. I really, really like it. I have a lash on my lip. Hi, Gloria, gonna look at you just now. How to put on my glasses. So can you see why I was in love with this lip gloss? As fast as one tube was done, I was on to get the next one. So yeah. So this is what Ooh Baby looks like. What do you guys think? Ooh Baby, right? It's amazing. Alright, so let me see, Gloria. Oh yes, Gloria. Lashes are always the icing on the cake. So now you look at me and you just see a beautiful woman walking in the room. Her eyelashes is not jumping out at you and saying hello, hi. Her foundation complexion is not in your face too much. Eyes are nicely done. It's beautiful. It's sexy. It's super open. I am a 52-year-old woman, but I don't look like I'm 80. I could tell you a few things that I could do differently. For example, I could use a different color lipstick. But to me, when you keep the lips nude, it just has a way of keeping everything looking so much more youthful and amazing. So I will probably just put a little bit more. This is one of my favorite bronzers. It's this color, and I will put it right here. So I shape my face with my bronzer. So I have a nice radiant glow, and if I feel like it's too much and I don't want it to be in my face, I could just use my powder brush and I could just like buff it off. So yeah, let's go back to this. Yeah, everything blends in so nicely. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So you see how you don't need a lot, and all the products that I use, complexion, these two. As a matter of fact, well, these two are the creams that I use to even out my skin tone. This one I use as a highlighter to cover the center of my face. This palette, I used this on the inner corner. I used this to shape. And then, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, oh baby, is let me tell you, this is like my 6th tube, you know, and then I use the powder because like I said, I don't believe every woman needs product wall to wall. So I only focus on applying makeup where I need it the most, and guess what? I'm in and out there like that. What is it? Oh, the name of the gloss is Oh Baby by MAC. As in just as the way I said it. Oh Baby, HWH baby. Right, and then to add radiance to the skin, I use a sublime powder. But the key as well is making sure that you develop a really great skincare routine so that your skin is already flawless. So you can go here and not really worry. Where can you find the Black Up Concealer? Actually, this is not a concealer, you know. This is the full coverage foundation in a tester size. And if you have anybody coming from Barbados, that's the best place to get it from because they have a couple of shops. Cape Shepherd is their distributor in Barbados, and there's one down on Broad Street. So if you have anybody coming from Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, I know now it's kind of like really crazy in terms of the travel and all that stuff. So it's a little bit difficult now. It's so unfortunate that, you know, we couldn't hold on to Black Up in Trinidad. That's the bad thing. But anyways, that's how life is sometimes. Yes. So we were talking about the takeaways. I wish, girl, if I win the lotto, trust me, I'll open a big Black Up store for you guys in Trinidad and Tobago because I know how much it was amazing. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And I'm totally hooked. So I can't see myself using anything else, but I still, you know, try to experiment with other products so that I can, you know, give myself a little extra leeway. So yeah, so one of the things that I touched on was mind your relationships. And then the other thing that backs that up is people are our most valuable asset. Remember, a lot of times people tend to treat people like crap, and they don't understand that in a case where we have this pandemic, for example, we have to get favor from our landlords. For those of us who are renting, we have to get favor from our creditors or debtors or whoever. We have to get favor. So if you don't treat people well in your now moment, then you would not be able to reap the benefits of that particular resource. Christine says, I lost quite a few family members between 2019 and 2020. It caused me to check in more, love more. Yes, forgive more, not to feel hurt. Exactly, Christine. Let me tell you something. That is the most powerful thing that you can do because I recently had this conversation, and my thing is, all of us come, like when you go to the store and you buy a product, it comes with an expiry date, but the date is displayed on the product. And we as human beings, we also come here at an expiry date too, but unfortunately, it is not displayed. So the most you can do is definitely love hard. Treat people well, because you don't know when they can check out. You really, really don't know when they can check out. So you have to always be very careful. So that is one of my takeaways too. People are our most valuable assets, and definitely multiple streams of income is the way forward. I believe that it's one of the, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, because when you have something that is going good for you, you tend to focus and you dig in and you kind of nurture that. And it's not until you don't have that thing anymore then it forces you to tap into your other talents. And of course I discovered that there are other talents that I have that I could definitely, take advantage of. And I personally would not want to be caught in another situation like this and I don't have a stream of income, because a lot of bad things happen to us when we don't have money. Because Babylon system, for example, don't give a crap that this is a pandemic and you can't work. They're still sending you the bills, and by a certain time, if your bill and pay, trust me, they're cutting you off. So we live in a world that human beings are no longer, well, most of them are not compassionate, because like I say, for example, the banks and certain institutions, these are not walls, these are not objects, these are people, and if money is, it's all about money. So if you wait until there's a crisis then to take advantage of it, people would always be in difficult situations, because it is what it is. And my other question, I think I asked on the when I posted this stuff, was what 3 lessons have you learned from 2020 that has changed your mindset? I'm going to say that again. What 3 lessons have you learned from 2020 that has helped to change your mindset? And I will share my 3. The first one, everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable. And I would love if you could share what your takeaways are, because remember, we are leaving a digital stamp for the future by sharing what we learned. So this is not about anybody here trying to mind your business or trying to judge you. And because our experience will our experience that we have now would definitely help somebody in the future. So please share, what is your 3 lessons that you have learned from 2020 that has helped to change your mindset? My first one is everything is figure outable. And what I mean by that is, do not allow yourself to fall into despair because of what shows up in your current reality. So in our current reality, we were on lockdown. Some of us couldn't go to work. Like, for example, I am an entrepreneur and my industry was completely shut down. And so it meant that I had limited resources, and in some instances no resources. I have no money coming in. Because of my relationships that I've had, it's helped to sustain me, because a lot of people sent me a little small piece, as we would say back in Guyana. Somebody turned up, they invite me to over to them for lunch or whatever the case is, and those were little things that helped. I volunteered well, not necessarily volunteered, but I was asked to work on a production, and we were meeting every day. And as a result of me being on a set for like 2-3 weeks, though for those 3 weeks I didn't have to worry about food. So the universe takes care of us if we're in the right situation. And it's easy to be discouraged when you go to bed and you look at your wallet, because your wallet, some wallets have the change section. Well, I tell you, I never thought I would have had a wallet with not even a cent in it. But I experienced that. And it really didn't phase me, because like I said, 2019 prepared me for 2020. So I was already comfortable with being uncomfortable, and it's not that I was hopeless. I know my situation will change. I know that I serve a God who's going to take care of me in spite of. So I could go to bed with no money, and by the next day there's an option to make some money. And the other thing for this season that I would take with me that has changed my mindset is every season has its blessings attached. Some can reap in a dry season, while others may have to use that season to plant and nurture what was already germinating, right? So every season is different. And I've seen, for example, I have had the opportunity to work on a few projects that it was the first time being done. Like, for example, I worked on this project called the Scrubbing Bench. The entire scene, the entire production was shot with just one actor at a time. One. And they were in different rooms and they never saw each other. Ever. It was as far as Some people were in New York, some people were in the UK, some people was in Canada and different parts of Trinidad, and nobody saw each other at the same time. But it was like so amazing to see how they pull it all together, and it really made it look as though this production was shot. So that was the first time something like that was done in Trinidad, and it's by Mervyn de Gouge. And if you didn't see it, you really missed a treat. And then I had the opportunity to work on a project that was just launched recently. This woman, designer called Shoma, she launched an entire collection that was birthed in the middle of the pandemic. And the thing about it, when you're working on production, most of the times, the crew is not less than about 16 people. And for one particular production, there were 4 of us. The videographer, makeup artist, the production manager, and the director, 4. And then the actors came in after. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? Ah, yes. So, anything that you could add to that, I would really appreciate it. And number 3 thing that has changed my mindset is I am never alone. I'm loved unconditionally. And I'm going to go across really quickly to the next one, which is, what were your coping mechanisms dealing with the lockdown? I shared 3 that I want to share with you. Mine were, the first one was surrender. Allow myself to be quiet and embrace my solitude. Well, for me personally, it wasn't like a big deal to be home because I do a lot of work on the outside, and when I'm not working, I'm at home. Most I would do is jump in my car and go take a drive. So being at home and being quiet, it was not something that I had to get used to, because I wasn't one of those people who had to be partying every weekend. So I honestly didn't have a problem with staying home. And so one of the things that it helped me to do, embracing solitude, is to kind of like, okay, dig in. Because what is it other than makeup that I can do that will bless other people and still make me feel like I'm not slaving at a job kind of thing? So I discovered another skill set. I know that it was there. I knew that I was supposed to develop it, but for whatever reason, the other things that came in and caused me to be distracted, I never get around to it, right? So that was how that was. And the other thing that I did to pass time, I traveled to so many countries. I learned about so many cultures. And one of the things that really was very humbling in that season was to discover that there are other parts of the world where women, their lives are not easy. Their lives are not easy at all. I saw a documentary on a village. I don't remember exactly where it was because I didn't make a note. And they don't know what it's like to have running water. So can you imagine? They recycle water. The water that they cook with, like if they're cooking rice, they will pour that out, and that water goes to feed the cattle, the animals. The bath water, they don't know anything about bathing. They use the water to thing, and that water goes to recycle to feed the animals or whatever the case is. And the men have to walk how many miles to go dig in a well, climb up a cliff to go through another hole to do something else just to get water. I saw in another area, I think this was in Nepal. For the children to get to school, it was so dangerous. They leave home, they have to climb down the side of a cliff, and they have to use a bucket to slide across this river to get to the other side of it, and then hitchhike for a ride to get into the village to get to school. So when I saw those things, it really helped me to embrace the fact that, okay, yeah, we're in a pandemic, but guess what? We don't have to experience those extra. And it also taught me to be a little bit more careful with, or be more considerate, or maybe more conscious of how I use water. And because there are a lot of people in a lot of places that they can't do it. And some women in those areas, they have no idea what it's like to hold even a lipstick. and we have all this product that we have available to us. And these women, they just say, and then the other thing is that they're so talented, you know. So if ever you have some time, just go on YouTube and pull up, and you'll be amazed to see how other people live and their lifestyle and how they get around on a day-to-day basis, you know. One of the other things that I personally did, I started and well, literally started a new business. I started to eyelash extensions is something that I've always been doing on the side. And I don't think I had ever advertised it because I was always busy doing makeup. So I kept the clientele as small as possible. But what I've noticed during the course of this lockdown, nothing is happening socially. And women, you know, us girls, we want to look cute all the time. So most women are doing their eyelashes, getting eyelash extensions done, and they're getting their brows done. So I decided, you know what? I am going to get myself aligned with this. And I could tell you, it really, really helped in so many ways, and everything just fell into place for me with that. It wasn't a struggle at all. So that was something good that came out of 2020 for me, and I know that in the future it's definitely is going to be another aspect of business that will help to sustain. So I would urge you, you know, all of us came here with a couple of gifts and skills. Develop your skill set so when one thing is not working, you could always fall back on something else. Another thing that by force, I think I learned this from 2019. 2019 taught me how to eat smarter. Okay, normally you go to the supermarket and you buy a set of food because, okay, the money is coming in and you always have money at your disposal. But this time it was like, okay, what are my needs? What can I buy that will be smart and will be nourishing to my body? So those are some of the things that I learned. And I also learned that my body don't need 3 square meals. I don't need to have breakfast and lunch and dinner and snacks in between for my body to be sustained. I know everybody can do this, and I know it's also partially a fad because they refer to it as intermittent fasting. And if you embrace how to eat smart and how to eat wise, you can survive. Your body can survive on at least 1 or 2 meals a day. And some days I don't even eat heavy every day. You know, I will take a break, at least 2 days break in between, and just maybe some days just have fruit and water. Water is always important. So I don't do meat and all that stuff like on an everyday basis. And my 2019 taught me, so by the time I get to 2020, I was okay with just stir frying some vegetables and maybe some sweet potatoes, and I was good to go. So I remember one guy, when we were working on one of these shows, he was like, oh, wait a minute, what's up with you? Everybody get fat, fat, fat in this pandemic, and you looking nice and slim. I said, yeah, because my spirit showed me how to eat smart and how to be wise. And when I was still going out and I was still walking, even if it's just a walk in my neighborhood, so I was always very active. So one other thing in this particular section is, yeah, well, I think I touched on it. I exercise and I stay positive, and I always looked at these types of situations in relation to a storm. If you should observe a storm, for example, let's say a hurricane, right? And when you look outside, it is so dark. Sometimes because I mean, I've experienced a level 3 hurricane. I was living in Turks and Caicos, and the weekend when I was supposed to leave Turks and Caicos, the first storm came, and I saw how the whole atmosphere changed. Even here in Trinidad, when we would have had storm warnings and they tell you, oh, you need to be inside by X time because of whatever. And I remember myself and my friends, we were staying in St. Augustine at the time, and we went walking up the mount, and this thick black cloud came over. And then when it started to rain and the wind started to howl, it really, in that moment, it felt as though it will never stop. But even the worst storm has its timeline, it has its season, and everything comes only to last a time. And I think when we embrace that understanding, everything is for a time and a season, it probably is supposed to help you to go through it in a different way, from a different mindset. There are other things that you can do in the meantime while you wait for the storm to pass. And the last thing is, what revelation from 2020 can I leave for the future? And for me, my revelation is mindset is everything. And educate yourself with the facts. One of the things that I observe has helped to cause unnecessary panic is people's irresponsibility with the way how they shared information. Not everything that you see online is for you to share. Not everything you see on the news, because there's this thing in the conscious community. They refer to the television as tell lies to your vision, right? So because you see it on television and you see it on mainstream media, you think that it's true. Do your research. Be smart. Be wise. Choose what you're gonna pass on. Don't just share everything that comes to you. It causes panic and unnecessary stress for some people. So it's important for you to ask questions. Don't believe everything you hear. And my other thing that I would leave is mind your health, your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health. It's important for you to manage what you see and manage what you hear, because all of that helps to interfere with your peace of mind. And when you don't have peace, you are in turmoil. And when you're in turmoil, you're in distress. And when you're in distress, it messes with your mindset and you can't see and you can't focus. So I would say develop an intimate relationship with your source, whether you call him or her God, the universe, whoever you choose to acknowledge as your higher self. Develop that intimate relationship and stay connected, because when you're connected, you are in a better place to get the information that is necessary to keep you peaceful as you wait throughout the storm, right? So that is my takeaway. I hope that you have shared yours, and I look forward to reading all your comments. And as we get ready to close 2021, I know I've said this a gazillion times, but I really want to say how much I appreciate that you shared your Wednesday afternoon with me. And this is one of the things that was born out of the pandemic as well, because I had a time when I was literally losing my mind, and it's like, okay, what can I do that is going to, keep me busy and at least inspire other people too? So I came up with the beauty talk, beauty empowerment, and I think I started in June or July, and I've been here every Wednesday afternoon since. And I think I look forward to it growing into something even more. And I really appreciate your support and your help. It means a lot. So thank you very much. And I take this opportunity to wish you the most amazing rest of the year. I know that the struggles or the challenges are not quite over yet, but I would say if we could get through 2020, we definitely could get through 2021. So remain positive, remain focused, remain peaceful, nurture your relationships, embrace your loved ones, and yeah, you will hear from me again. So I will see you next week, and next week is going to be a new year. So happy 2021. I love you. I appreciate you very, very much. Whatever you do, please be safe, please be peaceful, and I really appreciate you. So thank you very much. I will leave you for now, and we will talk soon. Toodaloo. Bye. Thank you.